For South Carolina, I'm Greg Barnes, alongside of Ross Martin. Ross, 59 times Clemson has come to Chapel Hill. 59 times they have left with a loss. That's a pretty crazy stat, I think, for anybody. It's the longest losing streak for an opponent against a Division I team on the road. Just kind of some incredible numbers there. And yet at halftime, it looked like North Carolina was going to coast, and then all of a sudden, Clemson gets red hot, made 15 straight field goals. I've seen a lot of crazy things over the years. That's up there. It was very impressive. Granted, UNC's defense played a role in that, but curious as to your initial takeaways from a game that had a lot of different parts involved.
I think withstanding that big Clemson run, all those shots kind of tells a lot about the resilience of this team. Veterans who can to make baskets and answer shots like that, and then make big baskets of their own. We saw Garrison Brooks had a nice layup. Joel Berry hit 4 threes in the second half. Cameron Johnson ended up with 6 threes. So as much as we want to talk about Clemson's offense, how good it was, I thought UNC was excellent from 3, got out in transition some, and really played within themselves. And you saw the benefit of that small lineup, and also using Sterling Manley and Garrison Brooks this time as well. So you saw kind of, I think, more of what we thought this UNC team could be with Cameron Johnson and with everything clicking on offense. Theo Pinson obviously put up that stat line again. And when he plays well like that, it opens things up for the rest of the guys. This team can be really good.
Yeah, and in the post-game interviews, a lot of reporters were asking these guys, are you a traditional team? Are you a small team? Are you an outside shooting team? What is your identity at this point in the season? And I think if we're going to go strictly by that dynamic of, okay, what type of team are you? How are you going to score? How are you going to defend? I think that's missing the point. I mean, I think the point of this team that we've learned so far is, whether it be against Tennessee, whether it be against Wake Forest, even against Florida State in a loss, and then tonight, this team finds a way to get it done every single time they come out in terms of being competitive there at the end. With that FSU game, it's not always going to work out. But tonight, I thought it was incredible. The key moment for the game for me was 3 different times in the final 10 minutes, Clemson cuts it to 2 points. Each time that happened, UNC goes down on the other end and scores. So Clemson never has the ball with it being a one-possession game. And to be able to answer that way, to withstand the momentum that Clemson had, is really just kind of a dagger for the team that's working so hard to get back into the game. And so for them to be able to do that in so many different ways on so many different nights, I think that just speaks volumes about what this team is. Is it still a work in progress? Absolutely. But that is a heck of a trait to be able to lean back on.
Yeah, and I think the emergence of Cameron Johnson is going to be huge, because Luke May didn't have the best game offensively, and he's kind of led this team a lot. Joel Berry played pretty well, 17 points, and obviously knocking down 4 threes in the second half. And we've thought about who's going to be that third scorer, and it can be either Cameron Johnson or it can be Kenny Williams. And Cameron Johnson kind of announced himself as that guy who, when he's on, can really pour it in from 3, and that kind of opens things up for everybody. And that kind of showed. And I think moving forward, that's a huge confidence boost for Cameron. He talked about having his feet set underneath him, talking with his dad about his shot, getting in the gym early after a really disappointing game against Notre Dame. And it paid off, and this will look back on this game. If Cameron Johnson continues to play well, it's kind of the moment he announced himself to the Tar Heels.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Is we've seen him have one really good game. Now he's got to do it consistently. That's easier said than done. That takes a lot of hard work and practice. But he got chewed out pretty good by Roy Williams after that Notre Dame game. Said he got an F grade on his play, and so hopefully this is a situation where he can kind of build off of that. Impressive win, though, for the Tar Heels. Clemson is a good team. As Roy Williams said after the game, Carolina's got to go to Clemson in 12 days. That's going to be a tough win. But this is a stretch of games where North Carolina should have a lot of success with Georgia Tech coming up. So be able to build on that record. They're 4-2 right now in the ACC. They have a good opportunity to increase that with some big wins the next couple weeks. So I think this is kind of the start to that stretch they needed.
Yeah, and they play Georgia Tech on Saturday, and Georgia Tech plays Thursday. So UNC has a huge advantage there in terms of getting rest and getting set for that matchup this weekend.
Yep. That's it for us here. For Ross Martin, I'm Greg Barnes. Thanks.